I knew something was wrong the moment I walked through the door. My mother's house smelled like burnt garlic and desperation, the kind of smell that clings to your clothes and follows you home. She'd been cooking since noon, probably. Too much food for 4 people. Way too much. "You're late," she said, not looking up from the stove. Traffic on the 405 was a nightmare. "It's always a nightmare. You should leave earlier." I didn't argue. My mother had this way of turning everything into a test, and I'd stopped taking them years ago. I hung my jacket on the hook by the door and walked into the kitchen. My son was already sitting at the table, picking at a piece of bread. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. Dark circles under his eyes. Hair greasy. He was 23 and looked 40. "Hey, Dad." "Hey, yourself." My younger brother was leaning against the counter, drinking a beer. He raised it at me like we were old friends at a bar. We weren't. We'd never been. He was 31, 6 years younger than my son, and he'd spent most of his life trying to prove he was better at everything. Sometimes he succeeded. "Long time," he said. 3 weeks. "Feels longer." It didn't. It felt exactly like 3 weeks. I'd been counting. My mother set a casserole dish on the table with more force than necessary. The sound echoed in the small kitchen. She wiped her hands on her apron and finally looked at me. Her eyes were red. Not from crying. From trying not to cry. "Sit," she said. I sat. The 4 of us ate in silence for the first 10 minutes. My son pushed food around his plate. My brother ate like he was in a competition. My mother kept glancing at the clock above the sink. I ate slowly, watching all of them, trying to figure out what I'd walked into. Then my brother cleared his throat. "So," he said, "we should probably talk about the elephant in the room." My son dropped his fork. It clattered against the plate, loud in the quiet room. "Not now," my mother said. "When then? We can't just pretend everything's fine." "We're eating. We're pretending to eat. There's a difference." I set down my own fork and looked at my brother. "What elephant?" He glanced at my son, then at my mother, then back at me. "You don't know?" Would I be asking if I did? My mother stood up so fast her chair scraped against the linoleum. "Stop, both of you. This isn't how we're doing this." "Doing what?" I asked. She closed her eyes, took a breath. When she opened them again, she looked at my son. "Tell him." My son's face went white. Actually white. His hands were shaking. He tried to hide it by putting them in his lap, but I'd already seen. "Tell me what?" I asked. Nobody answered. I looked at my brother. He was staring at his beer bottle, peeling the label off in small strips. My mother was gripping the edge of the counter like it was the only thing keeping her upright. My son was looking at the floor. "Somebody better start talking," I said. "Right now." My son finally looked up. His eyes were wet. "Dad, He stopped, swallowed, tried again. "Claire's pregnant." Claire was his fiancée. They'd been engaged for 8 months. The wedding was in 6 weeks. I'd already paid for half of it. "Okay," I said slowly. Well, it's not ideal timing, but it's not the end of the world. You're adults. You'll figure it out." "That's not the problem," my mother said quietly. I looked at her. "Then what is?" She didn't answer. She just looked at my brother. And that's when I understood. The silence in the room changed. It went from tense to suffocating. I could hear the refrigerator humming, someone's watch ticking, my own heartbeat in my ears. I turned to my brother. "Tell me I'm wrong." He didn't say anything. "Tell me I'm wrong about what I'm thinking right now." He set down his beer bottle, looked me in the eye. "I can't." The world tilted. Not dramatically. Not like in movies where everything goes black and white and the camera spins. Just a small shift. A recalibration of reality. The kind that tells you everything you thought you knew was a lie. "How long?" I asked. "Does it matter?" my brother said. "Yes, it matters." My son spoke up. 3 months. 3 months, I repeated. "She's 3 months pregnant." "Yes." "With his baby." "Yes." I stood up. My chair didn't fall over. I didn't throw anything. I just stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the neighbor's dog was barking at something. A car drove past with its music too loud. Normal life, continuing like nothing had changed. "When were you planning to tell me?" I asked. "Tonight," my mother said. "We're telling you tonight. You've known for 3 months. 2. We've known for 2. And you waited until now. We were trying to figure out how to handle it." I turned around, looked at all 3 of them. "Handle it. That's an interesting choice of words. My mother's face hardened. Don't start. Don't start what? Whatever you're about to do. Don't. What am I about to do? Get angry. Make this worse. Turn this into something it doesn't have to be. I laughed. Actually laughed. It came out harsh and bitter, nothing like a real laugh. My brother got my son's fiancée pregnant, and you're worried about me making it worse? It was a mistake, she said. A mistake. Yes. You accidentally sleep with your nephew's fiancée? That kind of mistake? My brother pushed away from the counter. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? It was... He stopped, ran a hand through his hair. It just happened. Things don't just happen. People make choices. You're right. I made a choice, a bad one, I know that. Do you? Yes. And Claire? Did she make a choice too? Nobody answered that. I looked at my son. He was crying now, not sobbing, just tears running down his face while he stared at the table. I'd seen him cry maybe 3 times in his entire life. Once when he broke his arm falling off his bike. Once when his grandmother died. Once when his mother left. What does Claire want? I asked him. He shook his head. What does she want? I asked again. She wants to keep it, he whispered. The baby. Yes. And what do you want? He finally looked at me. I don't know. That's not good enough. I don't know what I want. I don't know what to do. I don't know anything anymore. My mother moved toward him, but I held up a hand. Don't. Let him answer. He did answer, she said. No, he deflected. There's a difference. I kept my eyes on my son. Do you still want to marry her? Yes or no? I love her. That's not what I asked. He closed his eyes. I don't know. Then here's what I know, I said. The wedding's in 6 weeks. The deposit on the venue is non-refundable. The caterer needs final numbers in 3 weeks. Your mother and I have already sent out invitations to 150 people, so you need to figure out what you want, and you need to do it fast. This isn't about the wedding, my mother said. No, it's about the fact that my brother betrayed my son, and you all decided I was the last person who needed to know about it. We didn't decide anything. We were trying to protect him. Protect him from what? The truth? From you. From your reaction. From exactly what's happening right now. That stopped me. I stared at her. From me. Yes. You think I'm the problem here. I think you have a temper, and I think you make things harder when you're angry. I'm not angry. Yes, you are. She was right. I was. Fury was building in my chest like pressure in a boiler, but I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of seeing it. I'm going home, I said. Don't leave like this, my mother said. Like what? Angry. Judgmental. Refusing to listen. I've listened. I've heard everything I need to hear. We need to talk about this, as a family. We're not a family. We're just people who happen to be related. I grabbed my jacket and walked to the door. My son called after me, but I didn't stop. My mother said something else, but the words were lost in the sound of the door slamming behind me. I sat in my truck in the driveway for 20 minutes. Hands on the steering wheel, engine off, staring at nothing. Inside the house, I could see shadows moving, shapes behind the curtains. My mother pacing, my brother standing still, my son sitting at the table with his head in his hands. 3 months. They'd known for 2 months and said nothing. No phone call, no warning. Just an ambush disguised as a family dinner. My phone buzzed. A text from my wife. How bad? Bad. Coming home? Yeah. Drive safe. I started the engine and pulled out of the driveway. The neighbor's dog was still barking. The car with the loud music had circled back around. Normal life, continuing. But nothing was normal anymore, and I had a feeling it was never going to be normal again. Before we continue, hit the hype button, subscribe, and like the video to help the channel grow. Tell us which city you are from in the comments. We'd love to get to know our audience better. My wife was waiting in the kitchen when I got home. She had 2 glasses of whiskey poured and sitting on the counter. She didn't ask questions, just slid one toward me and took a sip of her own. That bad? She said. Worse. I told her everything. She listened without interrupting. Halfway through, she set down her glass and gripped the edge of the counter the same way my mother had. When I finished, she was quiet for a long time. Jesus, she finally said. Yeah. What are you going to do? I don't know. You can't just do nothing. Watch me. She turned to look at me. I'm serious. You can't pretend this didn't happen. I'm not pretending anything. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do about it. You're supposed to be there for your son. I am there for him. Then why did you walk out? Because if I stayed, I was going to say something I couldn't take back. Maybe you should have. I looked at her. She was staring at me with that expression she got when she thought I was being stupid, but was trying not to say it outright. We'd been married for 12 years. I knew all her expressions. They ambushed me, I said. All 3 of them. They sat on this for 2 months and then dropped it on me at dinner like it was no big deal. It is a big deal. Exactly. So why the hell didn't anyone tell me? Because they knew you'd react like this. Like what? Angry, defensive, ready to burn everything down. I'm not burning anything down. Not yet. She picked up her glass and took another sip. I did the same. The whiskey burned going down, but it was a good burn. Clean, simple, not like the mess in my head. Your mother called, she said after a minute. When? While you were driving home. I didn't answer. Good. She left a message. I don't want to hear it. She said you need to come back. Talk this through. She said running away doesn't solve anything. I'm not running away. I'm giving myself space to think. What's there to think about? Everything. What this means. What happens next. Whether my son's life is completely destroyed or just partially destroyed. And your brother? I didn't answer. Hey, she said. What about your brother? What about him? Are you going to talk to him? Eventually. When? When I can look at him without wanting to break his face. She sighed. You can't avoid him forever. I can try. My phone buzzed on the counter. A text from my son. Dad, please call me. I need to talk to you. I stared at it for a long moment, then set the phone face down. You should call him, my wife said. Not tonight. He needs you. He needs to figure out what he wants. I can't do that for him. But you can support him while he does. I will, tomorrow. When I'm not so angry I can barely see straight. She reached over and took my hand. Her fingers were warm, steady. You're allowed to be angry. I know. But you're not allowed to shut everyone out. I'm not shutting anyone out. Yes, you are. You walked out of your mother's house. You're ignoring your son's texts. You're planning to avoid your brother. That's shutting people out. What am I supposed to do? Pretend I'm fine with this? No. You're supposed to deal with it, like an adult. I pulled my hand away. I am dealing with it. By running away. I'm not running. I'm here. In my own house. That's not running. Then what do you call it? Self-preservation. She shook her head and picked up her glass. You're impossible. So I've been told. We stood there in silence for a while. The kitchen clock ticked. The refrigerator hummed. Outside, someone was mowing their lawn, even though it was almost dark. The smell of cut grass drifted through the window. Your mother also said they want to have a family meeting, my wife said eventually. Of course they do. This weekend, everyone together, to figure out what to do next. There's nothing to figure out. The wedding's off. Claire and my brother can do whatever they want. End of story. Is it? What else is there? What about your son? What about the fact that he's in love with a woman who betrayed him? What about the fact that your brother destroyed his relationship and is probably going to be a father in 6 months? Not my problem. Yes, it is. You're his father. It's your problem whether you like it or not. Then maybe I don't want it to be. She set down her glass hard enough that some of the whiskey sloshed out. Don't say that. Why not? It's true. No, it's not. You're hurt and you're angry and you're saying things you don't mean. How do you know what I mean? Because I know you, and I know you love your son more than anything, even when he makes you crazy. This isn't about love. It's about respect, and none of them respect me enough to tell me the truth. They told you tonight. 2 months late. Better late than never. Is it? She didn't answer that. Just picked up her glass and walked to the sink. She stood there with her back to me, staring out the window at nothing. I can't do this right now, she said quietly. Do what? Argue with you. Convince you to do the right thing. I'm tired and I'm sad, and I need you to figure this out on your own. I'm trying. Try harder. She left the kitchen. I heard her footsteps on the stairs. The bedroom door closing. Not slamming, just closing. Quiet and final. I stood alone in the kitchen, holding my glass, feeling like the worst person in the world. My phone buzzed again. Another text from my son. Please, just 5 minutes. I stared at it for a long time. Then I turned off my phone and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and 32 text messages. Most were from my son, a few from my mother, 2 from my brother, 1 from Claire. I deleted all of them without reading. My wife was already up. I could hear her downstairs making coffee. The smell drifted up through the vents. Normal morning smell. Comforting. Except nothing felt normal anymore. I got dressed and went downstairs. She was sitting at the kitchen table, laptop open, reading something. She glanced up when I walked in. "Morning," she said. "Morning. Coffee's ready." "Thanks." I poured myself a cup and sat down across from her. We didn't talk for a few minutes, just sat there in the quiet, drinking coffee, pretending everything was fine. Then she closed her laptop. "I need to tell you something," she said. "Okay. And you're not going to like it." "I already don't like anything. Might as well pile on." She took a breath. I knew. The kitchen went very still. "You knew what?" I asked. "About Claire. And your brother. I knew before last night." I set down my cup slowly. "How long?" 3 weeks. 3 weeks? "Yes." "And you didn't tell me." "No." "Why not?" "Because your mother asked me not to." My mother. She called me. She said they were trying to figure out how to handle it. She said she needed time to talk to your son, to make sure he was okay before dropping it on you. And you agreed. "Yes?" "You lied to me for 3 weeks." "I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you." "That's the same thing." "No, it's not." I stood up. "How is it not the same thing?" "Because lying is active. What I did was passive. I was trying to protect you." "From what?" "From exactly this. From being hurt and angry and shutting everyone out." "You don't get to make that decision for me." "I know." "Then why did you?" "Because I love you. And I knew you'd want to fix it, and I knew you couldn't fix it, and I knew that would destroy you." I walked to the window, stared out at the backyard. The grass needed mowing, the fence needed painting. 100 small tasks I'd been putting off. Normal life, waiting. "I can't believe you kept this from me," I said. "I know." "I can't believe any of you kept this from me." "We were trying to help. By lying. By giving your son time to process. By making sure he didn't do something stupid before everyone had a chance to calm down." "Like what?" "Like call off the wedding in a fit of rage. Like throw Claire out. Like cut your brother out of his life permanently." "Maybe he should. Maybe, but that should be his choice. Not yours, not mine. His." I turned around. "You should have told me." "You're right, I should have, but I didn't, and I can't take it back." "Do you have any other secrets you're keeping from me?" "No." "Are you sure?" "Yes." I believed her, mostly, but there was a small part of me that wasn't sure anymore, a small part that wondered what else everyone had been hiding. "The family meeting is tomorrow," she said. "Your mother wants everyone there at 2. "I'm not going." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm not." "You need to be there for your son. He has a phone. He can call me if he needs me." "He's been calling you. You're not answering." "I need time." "You've had time. You've had all night and all morning. Now you need to be an adult and deal with this. Stop telling me what I need to do. Then stop acting like a child." We stared at each other across the kitchen. The coffee maker beeped, the clock ticked, the world kept moving. "I'm going to work," I said. "It's Saturday." "I have paperwork to catch up on." "No, you don't." "Yes, I do." "You're running away." "I'm going to work." I grabbed my keys and walked out. Behind me, I heard her call my name, but I didn't stop. 3 weeks later, I found my opening. I'd been tracking my brother's schedule, where he worked, where he ate lunch, where he went after hours. It wasn't hard. He was a creature of habit, predictable. That was always his weakness. He worked construction, commercial jobs mostly, big sites, lots of workers, easy to blend in. I showed up at his current project on a Tuesday morning, wore a hard hat I'd borrowed from the marina, a visibility vest I'd bought at a hardware store, clipboard in hand, looking official. Nobody questioned it. I watched him for 2 hours. He was working on the 3rd floor, framing. He was good with his hands. Always had been. Better than me at most things, if I was honest. But not better at everything. At lunch, he climbed down and walked to his truck. I followed at a distance. He pulled out a cooler, a sandwich, can of soda, sat in the truck bed, eating, scrolling through his phone. I walked up casually, like I belonged there. "Hey," I said. He looked up. The sandwich fell out of his hand. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "Came to see you." "Why?" "Because we need to talk." He stood up fast, glanced around. We were alone. The rest of the crew was on the other side of the site. I don't think that's a good idea, he said. I don't care what you think. Look, I'm sorry for what happened, for all of it. But showing up at my work, that's not going to fix anything. I'm not here to fix anything. Then why are you here? I stepped closer. He stepped back. His truck bed hit his legs. I'm here to make sure you understand something, I said. What? Actions have consequences. I know that. Do you? Because you got my son's fiancée pregnant, destroyed his life, and you're still walking around like nothing happened. That's not fair. Fair? You want to talk about fair? I didn't plan for this to happen. Don't say it just happened. Don't insult my intelligence. He closed his mouth, looked at the ground. You made a choice, I continued. Multiple choices, over and over, and you chose yourself every single time. So now I'm making a choice. What choice? To make sure you never forget what you did. He looked up. What does that mean? You'll see. I turned and walked away. He called after me, but I didn't stop. I could feel his eyes on my back. The confusion, the fear. Good. Let him wonder. That night, I made 3 phone calls. The first was to a guy I used to work with. He'd moved into HR at a construction company. Big one, the kind that hired subcontractors for major projects. Hey, it's me, I said. Long time. How are you? Good. Listen, I need a favor. What kind of favor? Information about a subcontractor, just basic stuff. Whether they're reliable, good reputation, that kind of thing. Which company? I gave him the name of my brother's employer. Yeah, I know them. Why? Thinking about recommending them for a job. Want to make sure they're solid. They're okay, not great. Had some issues with safety violations last year. Nothing major, but enough to raise flags. Interesting. Thanks. No problem. You owe me a beer. Deal. The second call was to an old friend who worked in code enforcement. We'd gone to high school together, still got Christmas cards. I need you to do a site inspection, I said. Where? I gave him the address of my brother's current project. What am I looking for? Nothing specific, just a thorough check. Safety equipment, permits, worker documentation, the usual. This official or personal? Does it matter? Not really. But if I find something, it's going on record. That's fine. You sure about this? Yeah. All right, I'll schedule it for next week. Make it this week. That urgent? That urgent. He agreed. I hung up. The third call was to my brother's supervisor. I'd gotten his number from a job posting online. Easy to find. Hi, my name's Mike, I said. I'm with OSHA. We received a complaint about your site on Cedar Avenue. What kind of complaint? Safety violation. Possible fall hazard on the 3rd floor. We'll need to do an inspection. When? Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. That's short notice. Complaints don't operate on your schedule. Can I get your badge number? Of course. I rattled off a fake number. You'll see me tomorrow. I hung up before he could ask more questions. It wasn't enough to destroy my brother. Not yet. But it was enough to make his life difficult. Enough to cost him time, money, peace of mind. Enough to let him know I was watching. 2 days later, I got a call from my wife. What did you do? She asked. What do you mean? Your brother's been calling. He says his work site got shut down for inspections. He says someone's been asking questions about him. He thinks it was you. Why would he think that? Because you showed up there last week. Because you're angry. Because he knows how you think. I didn't do anything illegal. That's not the point. The point is you're escalating things. He escalated things when he slept with Claire. 2 wrongs don't make a right. But 3 lefts do. That's not funny. I'm not trying to be funny. She sighed. You need to stop this before it gets worse. It's already worse. It's been worse since the moment I found out. Then don't make it even worse. Come home, talk to your son, be an adult. I am being an adult. I'm handling my business. No, you're being petty and vindictive. Maybe, but at least I'm being honest about it. I hung up before she could respond. That night, I sat in my room above the bar, drinking cheap whiskey and staring at my phone. There was a text from my son. Dad, I don't know what you're doing, but please stop. This isn't helping anyone. I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed back, I'm helping myself. His response came immediately. By hurting everyone else? By making sure everyone remembers what they did. We all remember, every day, but this isn't the answer. Then what is? He didn't respond after that. I set down my phone and looked out the window. The alley below was dark. A cat was digging through a trash can. Somewhere in the distance, a siren wailed. I'd crossed a line. I knew I'd crossed a line, but I didn't care, because they'd crossed one first, and I was just getting started. The inspection at my brother's worksite turned up 3 violations. Nothing major, but enough to shut down the project for a week. Enough to cost his company money, enough to make his supervisor angry. I heard about it through Pete at the marina. He had connections everywhere. Construction was a small world. You hear about the mess on Cedar? He asked one morning. What mess? Safety inspection gone wrong. Company got fined. 3 guys got written up. One of them got suspended. Who? He shrugged. Some guy, I don't know his name, but he's pissed. I heard he's threatening to sue. Sue who? Whoever filed the complaint. But good luck with that. OSHA doesn't reveal sources. Huh? Why? You know something about it? Just curious. He gave me a look. The kind that said he didn't believe me but wasn't going to push. You're playing a dangerous game, whatever it is. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't. A week later, I drove back to my old town again. This time, I went to the coffee shop where Claire worked. She was behind the counter, hair pulled back, smiling at customers, like nothing had changed. Like she hadn't destroyed my son's life. I waited until her shift ended, followed her to her car, not close enough to scare her, just close enough to be seen. She noticed me when she opened her door. What are you doing here? She asked. Came to talk? About what? About the fact that you ruined my son's life. I didn't ruin anything. No? Then what would you call it? She looked around nervously. The parking lot was mostly empty. Just a few cars, no witnesses. It was a mistake, she said. That's what everyone keeps saying. But mistakes don't last 3 months. What do you want from me? I want you to understand what you did. I understand. Do you? Because you're still planning to marry him. Still planning to pretend everything's fine. Still planning to raise my brother's baby like it's some kind of fairy tale. It's not like that. Then what's it like? She didn't answer. Here's what I think, I said. I think you wanted my brother all along. I think you settled for my son because he was safe, stable, and then you got what you really wanted. And now you're trying to have both. That's not true, isn't it? Tears started running down her face. I love your son. No, you don't. If you loved him, you wouldn't have destroyed him. I didn't mean to. But you did. And now you get to live with that. I turned and walked away. Behind me, I heard her crying. Part of me felt guilty. A small part. But mostly, I felt satisfied. She needed to know. They all needed to know. I wasn't going to let this go. That night, my son called. What did you say to Claire? He demanded. The truth. She's a wreck. She called me crying, said you threatened her. I didn't threaten her. I just told her what I thought. That's not your job. Then whose job is it? Yours? Because you don't seem to be doing it. That's not fair. Nothing about this is fair. That's the point. Why are you doing this? Why can't you just let it go? Because they destroyed you, and you're letting them get away with it. I'm not letting them get away with anything. I'm trying to figure out how to move forward. There is no moving forward. Don't you get that? The moment she slept with him, everything ended. That's not true. Yes, it is. You're just too blind to see it. Or maybe you're too angry to see anything clearly. That stopped me, because maybe he was right. Maybe I was too angry. But I didn't know how to stop being angry. Didn't know how to let go of the rage that had been building in my chest for weeks. I'm trying to protect you, I said quietly. I don't need protection. I need support. It's the same thing. No, it's not. Protection means doing what you think is right. Support means helping me do what I think is right. And what do you think is right? I don't know yet. But I know attacking Claire and sabotaging my uncle aren't helping. Your uncle deserves everything he gets. Maybe, but that's not your decision to make. Yes, it is. I'm your father. And I'm an adult, which means you don't get to fight my battles anymore. Then fight them yourself. I am, just not the way you want me to. Then you're fighting them wrong. He hung up. I sat in the dark, phone in my hand, feeling like the worst person alive. My son hated me. My wife hated me. My entire family hated me. But I couldn't stop, because if I stopped, it meant accepting what they'd done. And I couldn't accept it. I'd never accept it. The next morning, I got a call from my mother. "We need to talk," she said. "About what?" "About the fact that you're tearing this family apart." "I'm not tearing anything apart. It was already torn." "You're making it worse." "How?" "By refusing to forgive, by attacking people, by disappearing and making everyone worry." "I didn't ask anyone to worry." "That's not how family works." "No? Then how does it work? Because from where I'm standing, family means lying to each other and covering up betrayals and pressuring people to forgive the unforgivable." "That's not what we did." "Yes, it is. That's exactly what you did." She was quiet for a moment. Then, "Your brother wants to apologize." "I don't want his apology." "What do you want?" "I want him to feel what I feel, to understand what he took from me, to suffer." "That's not healthy." "I don't care." "Yes, you do. Deep down, you care. You're just too hurt to admit it." "Stop trying to psychoanalyze me." "I'm not. I'm trying to help you see that you're destroying yourself." "Good. Maybe I deserve to be destroyed." "No one deserves that." "My son did, and no one cared." "That's not true. We all care. We're all trying to help him." "By forcing him to forgive? By pressuring him to move on? By pretending it didn't happen? By giving him space to make his own choices?" "That's not space. That's abandonment." "You would know." That hit hard, harder than I expected. "I'm not abandoning him," I said. "Then what do you call disappearing for a month? Refusing to answer calls? Attacking the people he loves?" "I call it self-preservation. I call it cowardice." And then she hung up. I sat there in my room, hands shaking, feeling like the walls were closing in. Everyone was against me. Everyone thought I was wrong. But they didn't understand. They couldn't understand. Because they hadn't lost what I'd lost. They hadn't felt what I felt. And they never would. 2 days later, my wife showed up at the marina. I was on a boat replacing a section of railing when Pete called down to me. "Got a visitor?" I looked up. She was standing on the dock, arms crossed, looking tired and angry and sad all at once. "I'll be right back," I told Pete. "Take your time." I climbed down and walked over to her. We stood there for a moment, not speaking. The water lapped against the hulls. Seagulls cried overhead. Normal sounds, but nothing felt normal. "How did you find me?" I asked. "Your phone has a GPS." "I turned it off." "Not all the time. I tracked you 3 weeks ago. Figured you'd still be here." "Smart. I have my moments." We were quiet again. She looked older than I remembered. Lines around her eyes that hadn't been there before. Gray in her hair. Or maybe they'd always been there, and I was just seeing them now. "Why are you here?" I asked. "Because someone needs to stop you before you do something irreversible." "Like what?" "Like whatever you're planning next." "I'm not planning anything." "Yes, you are. I can see it in your eyes. You've got that look, the one you get when you're about to make a decision you can't take back. Maybe that's what needs to happen." "No, it doesn't. Nothing needs to happen except you coming home and being there for your son. He doesn't want me there." "Yes, he does. He's just too hurt to admit it." "Join the club." She stepped closer, lowered her voice. "I need to tell you something, and you're not going to like it." "What now?" "Claire isn't pregnant with your brother's baby." Everything stopped. The world. My heart. Time itself. "What?" I managed. "She's not pregnant with your brother's baby." "That doesn't make any sense. They said she was pregnant. They said it happened 3 months ago. But they didn't say the baby was definitely his." "Then whose is it?" "Your son's." I stared at her. "That's impossible." "No, it's not. They ran a paternity test 3 days ago. Results came back yesterday. It's your son's baby." "Then why did they say it was my brother's?" "Because they thought it was. Because she slept with both of them in the same week, and the timing made it seem like it was his." My legs went weak. I sat down on the dock. Hard. The wood bit into my palms. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" I asked. "Because they just found out. And because you've been unreachable. And because they weren't sure how you'd react." "How I'd react? How the hell am I supposed to react to this?" "I don't know. But you need to figure it out. Fast. Because Claire and your son are trying to work things out. And your brother is devastated. And your mother is trying to hold everyone together. And you're out here, waging a war that doesn't need to be fought." She still slept with him. Baby or no baby, she still betrayed my son. I know, and that's unforgivable. But it changes things. You can see that, right? I didn't answer, because I didn't know what I saw anymore. Everything I'd been fighting for, everything I'd been angry about, it all shifted, rearranged itself, became something different. I need you to come home, she said. Not for me, not for your mother, for your son. He's trying to rebuild his life, and he needs his father, the real you, not this angry ghost you've become. I don't know if I can. Yes, you can. You're one of the strongest people I know. You just forgot that somewhere along the way. I hurt people. I hurt Claire. I hurt my brother. I hurt everyone. Then make it right. How? By apologizing. By being there. By choosing to move forward instead of backward. I looked out at the water. A boat was coming in. The owner was shouting instructions to his crew. Normal life. Continuing. What if I can't forgive them? I asked. Then don't. But don't destroy them either. There's a middle ground. Find it. She stood up, brushed off her pants. I'm going back tomorrow, she said. If you're coming with me, be at the house by 8. If not, then I need to know, because I can't keep doing this. Waiting, wondering, hoping you'll come back to us. And if I don't come back, then I'll know where we stand. She walked away. I watched her go, watched her get in her car, watched her drive away. And for the first time in weeks, I felt something other than anger. I felt lost. That night, I called my brother. He answered on the first ring. Hello? It's me. Silence. I heard about the test, I said. Yeah. I'm sorry. For what? For what I did. The inspections, the harassment, all of it. You should be. I know, I was angry. I wasn't thinking straight. You were thinking perfectly straight. You wanted to hurt me, mission accomplished. I wanted you to understand what you took from my son. I took nothing. I made a mistake. A huge, terrible mistake. But I didn't take anything. You took his trust. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to earn it back. But I don't need you making it harder. Fair enough. We were quiet for a minute. I could hear him breathing on the other end. Ragged, tired. Are you okay? I asked. No, but I will be. Good. Are you coming home? I don't know yet. Your son needs you. That's what everyone keeps saying. Because it's true. He's falling apart, and you're the only one who can help him. I think I'm the last person who can help him. You're wrong, but you won't believe that until you try. He hung up. I sat in the dark, phone in my hand, trying to decide what to do. And somewhere, deep down, I knew the answer. I went home the next morning. My wife was waiting in the driveway when I pulled up. She didn't say anything, just walked over and hugged me, hard, like she was afraid I'd disappear again if she let go. I'm sorry, I said into her shoulder. I know. For all of it. I know. We stood there for a long time. Then she pulled back and looked at me. Your son's inside, she said. Is he angry? Probably, but he'll get over it. And my brother? He's not here, but he wants to see you when you're ready. I don't know if I'll ever be ready. That's okay. You don't have to be. We went inside. My son was sitting at the kitchen table, staring at his phone. He looked up when we walked in. His eyes were red, swollen. He'd been crying. Hey, I said. Hey, can we talk? I guess. My wife left the room, closed the door behind her. It was just the two of us, father and son, the way it used to be before everything fell apart. I'm sorry, I said. For what? For leaving. For making everything worse. For not being there when you needed me. You're right. You weren't there. I know. Do you? Because it feels like you've been gone for a lot longer than a month. What does that mean? It means you checked out the moment you found out. You didn't ask me what I wanted. You didn't ask me how I felt. You just decided to go to war, and you didn't care who got caught in the crossfire. I was trying to protect you. I didn't need protection. I needed my dad. But you were too busy being angry to be my dad. That hurt. More than I wanted to admit. You're right, I said. I was angry. I still am. But I'm trying to do better. Are you? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you only came back because the story changed. Because you found out the baby wasn't his. But what if it was? Would you be here right now, or would you still be out there, destroying everything? I didn't have an answer for that. I don't know, I finally said. At least you're honest. That's all I've got right now. He looked back at his phone, then set it down. Claire and I are trying to work things out. I heard. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if I can forgive her, but I'm trying, because I love her, and because I want to be a father, a good father, not one who runs away when things get hard. That was aimed at me. I knew it was aimed at me, and I deserved it. What can I do to help? I asked. Nothing. This is my mess. I need to figure it out. Okay, but I need you to promise me something. What? That you won't interfere, that you won't try to fix it, that you'll just be here, support me, even if you don't agree with my choices. I can do that. Can you? Because you haven't been great at it so far. I'll do better, I promise. He nodded, didn't smile, but it was enough. Three days later, I was at the hardware store when I ran into my brother. He was in the lumber section, loading 2x4s onto a cart. He saw me before I saw him. Froze, like he wasn't sure what to do. Hey, he said cautiously. Hey. You back for good? Looks like it. That's good. Everyone's been worried. So I've heard. We stood there awkwardly. Other customers moved around us. The store speakers played some generic pop song. Normal Saturday afternoon. Can we talk? He asked. Here? No, somewhere private. Where? There's a park down the street. Meet me there in 20 minutes. Okay. The park was empty, just a few kids on the swings and a woman walking her dog. My brother was sitting on a bench near the pond. I sat down next to him. I'm sorry, he said without preamble. I know. Do you? Because I need you to really understand. What I did, there's no excuse for it. I betrayed my nephew. I betrayed you. I betrayed the entire family. Why did you do it? I don't know. I was drunk. She was upset about something. Your son was working late. One thing led to another. That's not good enough. I know, but it's the truth. It wasn't planned. It wasn't some long-term affair. It was one night. One stupid, terrible night. That destroyed everything. I know. We sat in silence for a minute, watching the kids play, the woman's dog chasing ducks. I loved her, he said quietly. I turned to look at him. What? Claire. I loved her, for years, since before your son started dating her. But she chose him, and I accepted that. Or I thought I did. But that night, I don't know. I let myself believe it meant something, that maybe she felt the same way, but she didn't. It was just a mistake to her. A moment of weakness. Does my son know? No, and he never will, unless you tell him. Why are you telling me? Because I need you to understand. It wasn't casual. It wasn't meaningless. I wasn't just being selfish. I was being stupid. But I genuinely thought, I don't know what I thought. You thought she'd choose you? Yeah. And when she didn't? I realized I destroyed the only family I have. We sat there for a long time, not talking, just existing together. Two men who'd lost something they couldn't get back. I'm going to fix this, he said eventually. How? I don't know yet. But I will, even if it takes the rest of my life. Good luck with that. I don't need luck. I need forgiveness. And I don't deserve it. But I'm going to try anyway. He stood up, looked down at me. I don't expect us to be okay. Ever. Me too. He walked away. I stayed on the bench, watching the sun set over the pond. Orange and purple and gold. Beautiful. And for the first time in months, I felt something like peace. A week later, my son called me at 2 a.m. Dad? What's wrong? Can you come over? I need to talk to you. Now? Please. I got dressed and drove to his apartment. He was waiting outside when I pulled up, face pale, hands shaking. What happened? I asked. Come inside. We went up to his apartment. Claire was sitting on the couch, crying. My brother was standing by the window, looking like he'd been punched in the stomach. Someone want to tell me what's going on? I asked. My son sat down, rubbed his face. We need to tell you the truth. About what? About everything. The real story. Not the version we told you. I'm listening. He took a deep breath. The baby isn't mine either. The world tilted again. What? The paternity test. It said it wasn't my uncle's. But that doesn't mean it's mine. Then whose is it? Claire spoke up, voice barely above a whisper. I don't know. You don't know? There was someone else, before all of this, before your son, before his uncle, someone I was seeing casually. I didn't think it mattered because we always use protection, but I guess You guess what? I guess protection doesn't always work. I looked at my son. How long have you known? Since yesterday. We got a second test, a more detailed one. It ruled me out completely. And you're just telling me now? I needed time to process it. I turned to my brother. Did you know? Not until an hour ago. He called me, said we needed to talk. I sat down heavily, tried to wrap my head around what I was hearing. So this whole thing, the betrayal, the anger, the family falling apart, it was all for nothing? Not for nothing, my son said. She still slept with my uncle. That still happened. The lies still happened. The betrayal still happened. The only thing that changed is who the father is. But I thought... I stopped. Started again. We thought it was his baby. That's why everyone was so upset. That's why you were considering calling off the wedding. It's not just about the baby. It's about the fact that she betrayed me with my uncle. That doesn't go away just because the baby isn't his. He was right. Of course he was right. But it still felt different. Wrong. Like we'd all been fighting the wrong battle. What are you going to do? I asked. I don't know. Claire wants to keep the baby, raise it. She wants us to get married and pretend none of this happened. And you? I don't know if I can do that. Every time I look at her, I see what she did. And every time I look at the baby, I'll wonder who the father is. I don't know if I can live with that. That's fair. Is it? Because everyone keeps telling me I should forgive her, that people make mistakes, that I should be the bigger person, but I don't want to be the bigger person. I just want to be happy, and I don't think I can be happy with her. Then don't marry her. He looked at me. Just like that? Just like that. You don't owe her anything. You don't owe anyone anything. If you want to walk away, walk away. But the baby isn't yours. You have no obligation to raise someone else's child just because your ex-fiancé made bad choices. Claire started crying harder. I love him. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this, I said. Sorry doesn't erase what you did. Sorry doesn't give my son his trust back. I know, but I'm trying. I'm doing everything I can to make this right. There is no making this right. Some things can't be fixed. You need to accept that. She stood up, ran to the bathroom. I heard the door slam, the sound of sobbing. My brother moved toward the couch. She's right, though. We all made mistakes. We're all trying to fix them. Some mistakes are bigger than others, I said. I know, but that doesn't mean we stop trying. What do you want? I asked him. Forgiveness? Absolution? What? I want my family back. I want to stop being the villain in everyone's story. Then you should have thought about that before you slept with your nephew's fiancée. I know, you're right. I'm the bad guy. I accept that. But at some point, you all need to decide if you're going to forgive me or not, because I can't keep living in this limbo. That's not my decision to make. Yes, it is. You're the one who's been holding on to this anger. You're the one who disappeared. You're the one who came back looking for revenge. If you can let go, maybe everyone else can too. I'm not ready to let go. When will you be ready? I don't know. Then we're all stuck, forever, because you're the one with all the power here, and you're choosing to keep us all in hell. That's not fair. Isn't it? I stood up. I need to go. Running away again? My brother asked. No, giving myself time to think. There's a difference. I walked out, down the stairs, into my truck. I sat there for a long time, engine off, staring at nothing. And then I realized something. My brother was right. I was the one holding all the power. I was the one who could end this, or keep it going forever. I just had to decide what kind of person I wanted to be. I spent the next 2 days thinking, really thinking, not just reacting, not just being angry, actually considering what I wanted, what mattered, what was worth fighting for. And I realized something important. I didn't want revenge anymore. I wanted closure. So I called a family meeting. Everyone. My wife, my son, my brother, my mother, Claire. Why? My mother asked when I called her. Because we need to end this, one way or another. Are you going to do something stupid? Maybe, probably, but it's my stupid thing to do. That's not reassuring. It's not supposed to be. They all showed up at my house at 7 on Sunday night. My wife set out coffee and snacks nobody touched. Everyone sat around the living room, looking uncomfortable. Waiting. I stood by the fireplace, looked at all of them. I'm done, I said. Done with what? My mother asked. Done being angry. done holding grudges, done making everyone miserable because I'm miserable. So, you're forgiving us? My brother asked hopefully. No, I'm not forgiving anyone, but I'm also not going to spend the rest of my life punishing you. I don't understand, my son said. I've spent 2 months being angry at all of you, angry at the betrayal, angry at the lies, angry at the fact that my family chose secrets over honesty. And all that anger did was make me into someone I don't recognize, someone I don't want to be. So what are you saying? Claire asked quietly. I'm saying I'm letting go, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. My wife smiled. Small, sad, but real. But I'm also done pretending, I continued. Done pretending we're a normal family. Done pretending this didn't happen. Done pretending any of us can go back to the way things were. What does that mean? My mother asked. It means my son needs to make his own choices. If he wants to marry Claire, that's his business. If he wants to walk away, that's also his business. And the rest of us need to respect that. I looked at my son. What do you want? He was quiet for a long time. Then, I want to walk away. Claire made a sound, almost a sob. Are you sure? I asked him. Yes, I love her, or I did, but I can't trust her, and I can't raise a baby that's not mine, and I can't spend the rest of my life wondering if she's going to betray me again. That's fair. He turned to Claire. I'm sorry. I know you wanted this to work, but I can't do it. I can't be who you need me to be. But I love you, she said. I know, but love isn't enough. Trust is, and we don't have that anymore. She started crying. My mother moved to comfort her. My brother stayed where he was, looking lost. And you, I said to my brother, I'm not forgiving you, but I'm also not going to keep punishing you. You made a choice, a bad one, and you have to live with that. But I'm not going to make it my life's mission to make you suffer. Thank you, he said quietly. Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for me. I looked at everyone in the room. Here's what's going to happen. My son's going to move forward with his life, without Claire, without this mess. And the rest of us are going to support him, not by pretending everything's fine, but by being honest, by respecting his choices, by giving him space to heal. And if he needs help, my mother asked, then we'll be there, but on his terms, not ours. Everyone was quiet, processing, trying to figure out if this was really it, if this was really the end. One more thing, I said. I need all of you to understand something. This family isn't what it was. Maybe it never was. Maybe we were always just people pretending to be something we weren't. But whatever we were, we're not that anymore. And that's okay. We can be something new, something different, but it has to be built on honesty. No more secrets, no more lies, no more choosing comfort over truth. Can we do that? My wife asked. I don't know, but we can try. An hour later, everyone left. My son stayed behind. Thank you, he said. For what? For letting me make my own choice, for not trying to fix it, for just being there. That's what dads are supposed to do. Not all dads. No, not all dads. We sat together in the quiet. The house felt different now, lighter, like something heavy had been lifted. What are you going to do now? I asked. I don't know. Find a new place. Maybe move to a different city. Start over. That's not running away. How is it not? Because you're making a choice. Not because you're scared, but because you want something different. There's a difference. I hope you're right. Me too. He stood up. I should go. Okay. He walked to the door, stopped, turned around. Dad? Yeah? I'm glad you came back. Me too. He left. I stood alone in my living room, looking at the space where everyone had been, the coffee cups, the untouched snacks, the evidence of a family trying to figure out how to be a family. My wife came out from the kitchen. You did good, she said. Did I? Yes. You let him make his own choice. That's all he needed. I hope it was the right choice. It was his choice. That makes it right. She came over and wrapped her arms around me. I held her tight, breathing her in, grateful she'd stayed, grateful she'd waited. What now? I asked. Now we rebuild, one day at a time. Can we do that? We can try. Outside, a car drove past. Someone laughed. Normal life. Continuing. And for the first time in months, I felt like I was part of it again. 2 days later, I was in my garage when my brother showed up. "Hey," he said from the doorway. "Hey, can I come in? It's a free country." He walked in, looked around at the tools, the half-finished projects, the mess I'd been avoiding for months. "I'm leaving," he said. "Where?" "Arizona. Found a job there. Construction, good pay, fresh start." "When?" "End of the month." "That's fast." "I need to go. Everyone needs me to go, including me." "Fair enough." He picked up a wrench, set it down. "I wanted to say goodbye, and thank you." "For what?" "For not destroying me completely. You could have. You had every right to, but you didn't." "I came close." "I know, but you didn't. That means something." "Does it?" "Yeah, it means you're better than me, better than I ever could be." I didn't know what to say to that. "Take care of your son," he said. "He's a good kid. Better than both of us?" "I will. And take care of yourself." "I'll try." He walked to the door, stopped. "Do you think we'll ever be okay? You and me?" "I don't know. Maybe. Someday, but not today." "That's fair." He left. And I watched him drive away and felt nothing. Not anger, not forgiveness, just nothing, which was almost better. That night, my son came over for dinner. It was the first time in months that we'd all sat together, just the three of us. Me, my wife, and my son. No tension, no secrets, just family. Whatever that meant now. "How are you doing?" my wife asked him. "Better. I found a place in Portland. I'm moving next month." "Portland? That's far." "I know, but I need distance from all of this. From everyone." "That's fair," I said. "You're not mad?" "No. You're doing what's right for you. That's all that matters." He looked relieved. "I was worried you'd try to talk me out of it." "Old me might have. New me knows better." "Is there a new you?" "We'll find out." We ate dinner, talked about normal things, his new job, the weather, a movie he wanted to see. Small talk. But it felt good, comfortable, like maybe we were figuring out how to be a family again. A different family, but still a family. After dinner, he helped with dishes. My wife made coffee. We sat in the living room, drinking it, watching the sunset through the window. "I'm proud of you," I said suddenly. He looked up. "For what?" "For walking away, for choosing yourself, for being brave enough to start over." "I don't feel brave." "That's how you know it's real bravery. If you felt brave, it wouldn't count." He smiled, small but real. And in that moment, I realized something. We were going to be okay. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday we were going to be okay. 3 months later, I stood in my driveway loading boxes into my truck. My wife was inside, finishing the last of the packing. We were moving, not far, just to the other side of town. A new house, a fresh start, away from the memories. My son was already in Portland, settling in, building a new life. He called every week. Short conversations. But they were enough. My brother was in Arizona. I hadn't heard from him since he left, but I hoped he was doing okay, finding whatever he was looking for. My mother and I had an uneasy truce. We talked occasionally, carefully, about safe topics, the weather, her garden, anything but what had happened. Maybe someday we'd talk about it, but not yet. Claire had the baby. A girl. I heard through my mother. She was raising her alone. The father never came forward. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't care. Either way, it wasn't my problem. I'd let go of all of it. The anger, the need for revenge, the desire to make everyone suffer the way I'd suffered. Slowly, surely, and I chose to live instead. My wife came outside, carrying the last box. "That's it," she said. "We're officially done here." "Good. Ready for the new place?" "More than ready." She smiled, kissed me. "I'm proud of you." "For what?" "For choosing us. For choosing yourself. For being strong enough to let go." It wasn't easy. Nothing worth doing ever is. We loaded the last box, closed the truck, looked back at the house one more time. All the memories were there, good and bad. The life we'd built, the family we'd been, the pain we'd survived. But we weren't those people anymore. We were something new, something different, something better. And as we drove away, I didn't look back, because the future was ahead of us, and it was ours to build. however we wanted, together.